If you want to laugh and have some fun, this is the podcast. This is the one. Lights, camera, action on your marker, set, go. Welcome everyone to the Suezie Show. Welcome everyone to the Suezie Show. Welcome everybody to the Suezie Show. Welcome everybody. We could do better than that, people. Come on now. There it is. Haha. On this episode, we are going to start with talking about how I got paid to get drunk by state police. Literally paid. They paid for my hotel for the night and paid me for 2 days worth of work for me to get drunk. I kid you not. We're going to start the episode there, and I have no idea where it's going to end up because, you know, I digress. It's what I do. That's what I do. Yeah. I lived in Florida at the time. I went to bartending school. Yes, there is school to become a bartender if you want to learn all the drinks and know how to make something that someone would like, even if you yourself never tasted any of it. As long as you know that triple sec tastes like oranges or banana liqueur tastes like bananas. If you know what certain things taste like, it teaches you the history of different liquors and little stories, and it was pretty cool. And if you do go to bartending school, I will say you can get in the finer dining establishments and make pretty decent money for yourself, opposed to being a server and getting into the bartending position, you know, kind of picking up shifts, and then somebody leaves or something and then you become the bartender. That's very different than being a licensed bartender. Believe me, a lot more doors open for me, and I worked in some pretty cool places. One of the places that popped in my head just now there's a place in Jacksonville that people just pull right up on their boats. And when I say boats, they're kind of mini yachts, you know, and they would just pull right up, and the bar was right there. What a gorgeous view. I got paid to do this. Hang out with cool people, pulling up on their boats. The only setback, everybody would invite me to go. Come hang out with us. We're going here. We're going to do this. Oh my God. Do you know how bad I wanted to leave work and go hang out with these people? They were all so cool. You know, they came around every other week or every week on Saturday afternoon or something. You know, nice families, good people, and I had to stay there working. I still got to hang out with them when they would come to the establishment, but they would always, come on, when do you get off? We'll come get you. And I was always working. It sucked. I mean, it was great. It was a blessing. It was cool to have a job like that, you know, right on the water. But I digress. There I go. Wasn't even trying to talk about that. Oh, brother, just let me fly off the handle, and who knows what we're going to talk about next. Right? That's how it goes. Anywho, I was a bartender, and when you went to this particular bartending school, which happened to be in Jacksonville, Florida, they had an offer from the Florida State Police Department that if you wanted to, they would first do a background check to make sure that you were available to do it, but you could get paid by the Florida State Police to drink alcohol. They pay for your hotel, and you stay at the hotel one night, and the night before you stay there, they weigh you. You go into this room. All right, let me set it up for you. You go into this room, and if I remember correctly, I want to say they didn't pay much, but I want to say $50 a day. Really, I really think that's all it was. It was a long time ago. God, this was in 2000. It might have been before 2000? No, it was before 2000. What? Wow, bro. It was right. I want to say, you know what? Now I want to say it was 99 or 98. It was somewhere around there. Okay, but still, I'm not saying $50 was a lot of money back then, because it wasn't. I just thought it was super cool to be able to get paid by the state police department to drink alcohol. Are you kidding me? How many people do you know can say a state police department paid them to get drunk and hung out with them that night and then paid for their hotel? Like, come on, man. I couldn't turn that opportunity down. And let me get into what happened when we did this whole thing. So you get to the hotel. I forget what hotel it was, but it was a nice one. They had a nice pool, everything. It was really nice. The grounds were beautiful, nicely landscaped, flowers everywhere. I forget what hotel it was. I'm not going to make it up, but I do remember it was a nice hotel. So you check into your hotel, and then you meet in this small conference room. It wasn't very large, but you meet in this small conference room, and it's got, long table, and they had their own stuff in there. The state police, they had a scale and different alcohol in a cooler.
I walked in, there's cops with a cooler and an alcohol. I'm like, are you kidding me? Kid, this is one for the books right here. I had a big smile on my face. Like, this is unreal right here. And so I walk in and I see all that, and they weigh you. You know, you step on the scale and they weigh you, and they figure out by how much you weigh, how much you should drink that you would blow if you got tested, that you would be legally drunk. So let's say you weigh 150, right? I don't know. I'm just making it up. Let's say you weigh 150. That would be 2.5 shots, or let's say 3 shots of alcohol you would be blowing legally drunk. Like, you would get arrested, your license would be gone, all that shit, right? So it's not very much. I'll tell you, I do remember this stuff, man. I remember they weighed me, and I had Coke and rum, and they measured the rum and poured it into the drink, and I drank it. And as soon as you're done drinking whatever they give you, I mean, they don't want you to chug it. They give you time to drink it, but they do want you to get it down, because once you get it down, as soon as you're done, they make you blow on the thing to test. And as long as that thing says, yeah, you're drunk, then they let you go. It's like, okay, go. But before I go into the next, what they do, while you're still in the room drinking with the cops aren't drinking. I don't want to make it sound like the cops were drinking with us. They were not drinking with us, okay? But when you're in the room, you're drinking with the cops that gave you the drinks, and they had one person that they called the ringer, right? And this person didn't have any alcohol. Pay attention, kids. This person had no alcohol, nothing to drink, okay? And before they went out, they made them blow in the machine too, and it registered big fat 0, whatever number. It registered that they had no alcohol at all in their system. They made everybody blow on those things before they walked out the door, right? But there was one ringer in the group. Everybody else was weighed and drank the amount of alcohol that did register us legally drunk. And let me tell you, believe me or not, man, I'm telling you now, I kid you not. To be legally drunk is when you just start feeling that nice little buzz. You know, when you just start feeling it, you feel a little buzz kicking in. That, my friends, is where you're legally drunk. I shit you not. I couldn't believe it. I honestly remember thinking and saying to somebody, they're going to have to make me drink more, because I just started feeling the buzz. And when I blew and it said that I was legally drunk, I said to the cop, I said, I'm just starting to feel the buzz. He said, that's when people are legally drunk. From there out, you're done. I was like, oh shit. My God, I didn't realize. I thought, maybe it's naive, but I always thought that driving drunk meant that you're like one eye in it, where you got to close one eye so you could see straight, so you don't see double. Well, that's wasted drunk driving, but I mean drunk where you're stumbling and you're slurring. I never thought drunk is where you have 1.5 glasses of wine and you're legally drunk. You don't have to be stumbling and slurring and all that other stuff. You just got to have a buzz from alcohol and you're legally drunk. You're busted. Anywho, they had us do the test. Well, once you're done drinking in that room and you blow that you're legally drunk, they set you out in groups. And my group, they had so many state cops. If I had to guess, I would say there was probably 80, 90 state cops there. It's like a yearly course that they did. I don't know if they still do it, but it was a yearly course that they did for the state police. And they had little groups of cops all over the property of this resort. That they could not see each other. None of the groups of police could see each other. They were very strategically placed all over this resort, but they did it in a way that you could get through all of them quickly, but none of them can see each other. It was crazy. They did a good job on picking where they were going to stand so that they couldn't see, because they didn't want, if let's say I'm one of the cops, they didn't want me to be able to see the group that came before me, and that person looks like they're not doing, I'm already thinking that person's drunk when I shouldn't think anything until I'm right there in front of the person. You don't get to cheat or any of that other stuff. What they do, they don't make you blow, right? They give you the tests other than blowing. they give you the tests. They asked, if I remember correctly, they asked, why are you out here? What are you doing tonight? Where are you headed? Little things like that. And you're standing up. You're not in a car, but they made you do the test with follow my finger and do the walk and all this other stuff. And after they made everybody do the tests, and you went from group to group. You test with this group of cops. Now you walk over, 40 feet, and there's the other group of cops. There they are. Okay, now they're going to test you. The same test you just got tested, right? And you went through, let's say 7 groups of cops throughout the resort. You just went boom, 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 boom. All the same test through all these different cops. Now, once you're done doing the test, everybody gets gathered into a larger conference room. This one was a good size, and it had all the folding chairs, and they had a table up front and a white erase board. And they had all of our names, the people who did the test for them. They had our names up there, and each officer put which one of us they thought was drunk, which one of us they would have arrested, and why. And I got to sit in that room with a whole bunch of state police finding out why they would have and why they would not have arrested people. They had the dead ringer who, by the way, I forgot to include, before the ringer, the person who had no alcohol, before he went out with us, they did give him alcohol to swish in his mouth, okay? So he smelled like it. And then they made him blow. After he swished the alcohol in his mouth, they made him blow, and he did not blow drunk. He blew like he had nothing in his system, okay? He got arrested by every group of cops. They all arrested him. And they all said because his eyes were red and his mouth smelled, you could smell the rum on him. And off the chief or whatever, the teacher of the cops, I don't know who he was, he was an upper cop, captain, I don't know what he was, whatever. But the big guy, we'll call him the big guy that was up there that was saying, okay, why would you have arrested this person? Well, because his eyes were bloodshot and, he stumbled when he did the walk test and they could smell a little bit of alcohol on him. And the big guy turned around and said, well, because they knew that he was tired. He told him, he said, well, he had no alcohol in his system. He was actually our dead ringer. He had no alcohol. He was stumbling and his eyes were red because he was exhausted because he works 2 jobs and he didn't get any sleep. And his breath smelled like alcohol because he's diabetic and he needs something to eat. And the cop was like, like they didn't take in consideration that they could be a diabetic. So yeah. Some people didn't arrest me because some groups didn't arrest. I think I only would have gotten arrested by 2 groups or something because I stumbled. I was friggin' tired. I worked 2 jobs at that time and I was tired too. But the other ones I just said, I'm really tired. I'm on my way home from work. I've been working 2 jobs, and they let me go. They write down after they test people what they would have done. Okay, this person I would have arrested. This is why. This person I would have let go. This is why. And then you get to sit in and listen and watch why you would have or would not have gotten arrested. And I do not encourage drunk driving at all. At all. There's no reason for it. Stay where you are. Don't go where you're going to go. If you know you're going to get drunk and you have no way to get home other than yourself, then don't go. Because it's not worth your life or anybody else's life. Period. Don't go. If you can't afford an Uber or you don't have a designated driver, please do yourself, your family, your loved ones, do everyone that's on the road a favor and do not get behind the wheel. Don't think that because you got a little buzz, you're okay. You only had 3-4 beers. You're not that bad. And, you have a couple beers every other weekend, so having 3-4 beers isn't that big a deal. It will slow your friggin' reaction down enough to where that 2 seconds that you would have been quicker, I'm not going to finish that sentence. You know what I'm saying. I do not encourage drunk driving at all. End of story. I've been hit by a drunk driver. And I still feel that pain. I still feel that. I'm not going to act like I'm better though. In the past, years ago, I have gone out to clubs and driven myself home. And boy, am I thankful I didn't hurt anybody or myself. I'm not going to excuse it and, I was young and having fun. I knew better. In my brain, you think, I'm good. I got that fresh air. Oh, okay, that fresh air feels good. I'm out of the club. I'm good enough. Let me just get something to eat on the way home. Yeah, if I got pulled over any of those times I pulled that shit, I would have lost my license and I would have got arrested. And I know I would have. This is years ago. Every night is ladies' night somewhere. And I was in my 20s. That means free entry and free drinks all night long. And the place is popping. And it doesn't matter if it's Tuesday night, Friday night, or Thursday night. Every night in Orlando at the time. And you wind up knowing a lot of people. Because if you're in the service industry, it's a small world. It's a big piece of land, but it is a small world. The servers and bartenders we kind of all know each other in some sort of way, and it's like a little family. So it would be my way to go visit other people when they're at work and go say hi to them and have a few drinks. And I was a lightweight, so if I had a few drinks, I was feeling pretty good. And I know, now looking back, and again, this is a couple decades, listen, a long time ago, but I still did it. I'm not gonna act like I didn't. But if I ever got pulled over, I'd have lost my license. And I would have got arrested. I know that. I'm not doing that stupid shit anymore. And I got walloped by one a couple of years ago. What was it, like 2 years ago? Yeah, about 2 years ago. I got walloped by a drunk driver. Oh, no. Yeah, twice. 2 years ago and then a year and change before that. I got hit twice by drunk drivers up here. Yeah, I'm in New England. Not that it matters, because wherever you are, people still get... The thing is, you have Uber now. You could literally press a button on your phone wherever you are. You could be in the middle of the woods and press a button, and you will have a car come get you. Let's say it's going to cost you $20 to get home. That's worth that $20. But anyway, I digress. I did it again. But anyway, so that night, after we sat in the classroom and learned all that shit and found out who would have got busted and who wouldn't have, and watched the cops give each other a hard time because, hey, he was a dead ringer and everybody would have arrested him. And he was not drunk at all. And it was just funny. It was a good time. It was a learning experience. And then that night, let me tell you, state police know how to have a good time. What? I hung out, me and my friend, I forget who I went with. It was somebody from the bartending school. But me and one of my friends went, and we hung out with they weren't all there. There was probably only like 15, 18 of them. I don't know if the rest of them lived close by and didn't have to get a hotel or didn't stay at that hotel. I have no idea. It's none of my business. I don't care. But the ones that did stay the night in that hotel were so much fun. Oh my God. I felt like I was in middle school again, man. Who's going to come get us? We're with the state cops. Are you kidding? We could do whatever the fuck I had them rolling. I was like, I could do whatever I want. And they were like, no, you can't. I was like, yeah, huh? I got the state police right here. What are they going to do? Call you? They would just laugh. And we were all drinking by the poolside and jumping in, cannonballing each other. And, oh, man, I think we had it. Yeah, we did. Because that big guy, there was a couple big ones, big muscle. And we had chicken fights. We had a good time with them, man. They were cool people. For reals. Cool people. I just thought I'd talk about, share with you my experience drinking with the Florida State Police Department, because I did in fact party with them that night. And they had a hotel there too. None of us, we all had the hotel. We all had a good time by the pool like kids. I had so much fun. I still remember that to this day, and it's been over 20 years. And I still remember that. I had so much fun with them, man. Puts a smile right on my face. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out and letting me share my story with you of drinking with the Florida Police Department. First, I drank for them, and then I drank with them. And they gave me money for it. So I just love that, and I wanted to share it with you. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'll see you next time on the Suezie Show. Yeah. Thanks for listening and hanging out. I'll see you next time, without a doubt. Now you know where I am and you know where to go. See you next time on the Suezie Show.